Welcome to Tinks Invest. We're talking about investing, finance, and professional development. As a recording time of 1:37 p.m. on the Eastern Time, Ethereum currently trade $2,606, up about 0.20% so far. With respect to overall crypto market, we are relatively flat to down at the moment, but I would say collectively speaking, we're just consolidating at the respective comfortable level that we've identified so far on a technical front. And just catching up on the news so far, ever since my first posting, I would say collectively speaking, there are some regurgitation news, some foreshadow news, but in terms of like the meat affectation, there isn't anything that is specifically a more of a needle driver in comparison to what we already talked about earlier this morning, that the job number is coming out on Friday. And additional to that, we are seeing additional elements that's going to be in play in more of a developmental sense around the Ukraine and Russian war that's cultivating at the moment. Obviously, it's still in a preliminary perspective at the moment. There is no confirmatory signal that the war is breaking out, but U.S. and U.K. are in alliance to be sending troops, or potentially be sending troops. It's non-confirmatory at the moment, prepping that they might be sending troops to the NATO border to be supporting Ukraine. On a defensive perspective, obviously, not on an offensive perspective, but just to make sure that we are, maintain a situation logically, without any worsening of the situation. So again, not a political perspective. This is just something that we're observing collectively, and I do hope that it doesn't break out to be a full-blown battle or war going on, because that's something we don't appreciate. That could technically be a black swan news onto the financial market. And we collectively have already been enduring such a volatile weeks and months, I would say collectively, that we deserved, a break. And I think having this additional elements of, war combined with pandemic, combined with financial difficulties that we have among countries, political element is just not something that is favorable to our investors, because that would just technically drive more uncertainty, more fear mongering, which does us no good at all. It's not healthy for us, right? And I think we should just all collaboratively focus on progressing, and working diplomatically and collaborating alongside one another to, revive, the globe gradually, to hope that we can all revive back to the normal cadence back in the day, right? 2.5 years ago. It's already been close to 3 years now. Can you believe that? That's pretty, it's definitely, in our lifetimes, I do not hope that we will see this type of, affectation again. But, obviously these are one of the challenges that we get through. These are one of those chapters in our lifetimes that, makes us stronger collectively, and we are all working collectively to get better. So let's get better over time. In addition to that, I am reading some news talking about someone that's coming from the Feds, Bostek. He has a recent interview with the Financial Times, saying that the central bank could potentially hike the rates by half a point, potentially even further than what we already are doing. So it's about hovering around 1.8%, 1.9%. So half a point is basically 2-point-ish%. And whenever you see interest hikes, that means there's more downside pressure onto the market. I mean, ultimately, that's something that, is a possibility. I think this is more just a media application again. It's a frustrating one, right? It seems like the Fed is definitely taking more of a reactive approach than a proactive approach, right? I think if I was Jerome, or if I was the Fed, I would try to strategically think about what are the timing of the hikes, right? That would give the market a little bit more confidence, right? Because that will give the marching order for corporate investors, for retail investors, for institutions, across the world, to know how to progress nicely. I think they are, the Feds, how they basically managing the balance sheets at the moment with a lot of seismic movements pieces in the overall country is they are taking one day at a time. They're like, oh, like when they see something happening, they're like, oh, let's cut the bleeding from there. Let's put a bandage on it. Let's do this. Let's do that. But it's very reactive, right? And these type of reactionary type of tactics doesn't do us any favor because it just drives more uncertainty, more frustration, right? A strategic thinker would be someone that thinks ahead of time, right? They will lay out a logical approach, in a future perspective, and they will work hard against meeting that deliverables in a timely fashion, right? But what I've been collectively seeing so far is the exact opposite. It's like, like we know on a high level what to do, but it seems like they are just like taking punches on a daily basis, taking punches on a weekly basis, and sometimes they, might have to pull a trigger or pull a lever, and that could hinder investors' sentiments and confidence, and then they pull back. So it's very much like a push and pull type of emotional roller coaster, which for me, I just it definitely loosens the confidence among investors, which the price definitely translates this, right? In addition to this news, let me just look at other news that's like more related to Ethereum or specifically crypto. So one news that came out about 4 hours ago is with respect to Celsius, which is a crypto lending platform. So their CEO recently talked about that Bitcoin may crash again, like further lower than the current level that we at, before a massive rally will happen. And in his depictions in this article on Bazinga, feel free to take a read, he's basically saying that Ethereum will be heading to all-time high in reverse to Bitcoin crashing. So it seems like they are more bullish on Ethereum, especially just coming from the Celsius CEO Alex Machinsky. Obviously, he's a Ethereum bull, I guess, based on his depictions. I don't see how that technically could make sense, but ultimately, if there's specific corporate adoption, specifically channeling towards Ethereum, yeah, I mean that could technically be the case, and we have already seen some sort of characterization into the charts that Ethereum and Bitcoin are slowly trading in separate fashion. Right, it used to be there's a direct correlation, but seems like there's some separation in terms of the trends, right? And I think we're seeing that slowly, and I think that's what Celsius CEO is trying to say. But I don't know how logically that is, for Bitcoin to crash and subsequently Ethereum to rally to all-time high. What that means is also that there's going to be a rotation out of Bitcoin and shifting directly into Ethereum. So maybe the vision of Ethereum ultimately beating Bitcoin is in works. But ultimately, we do not have the future vision, right? We do not know. We just know that long-term wise, in basic supply and demand dynamics, we will all gradually go up from there. But for someone to say, this bifurcations of growth and downsell momentum, I just don't know how logically that can be. That's almost like predicting the future. But who knows? Maybe he has a fair point that I'm missing. And then the other one that I see on the news is just more regurgitation news about must meet a certain key technical support levels for us to, keep the momentum going, which is something we talked about on the technical front. And then the last news that I see that's kind of interesting is with respect to Justin Bieber, who's a pop star, and he's buying Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT. He recently just bought one for 500 Ethereum. About $1.3 million on Saturday, so yesterday. So that's it on the news front. Let's just dive into technical analysis with respect to a recording time of 1:47 p.m. on the Eastern time, Ethereum coin trade $2,615, flat again, down up about 0.5%. We are exactly at the comfortable level. The next level we need to get up to, as we have this golden cross that's forming right now, would be at the 2,850 and then subsequently to 3,158. Where Bitcoin right now is down about 0.6%. The next level we need to get up to, as we are at the 38 right now, would be the 40, right? And we have already crossed with a 37 out of 70. So incurring risk right now is still tolerable because we're at a consolidated level. In respect to Dogecoin, down about 1.28% at 14.11 right now. I like anywhere from 13.25 to 12 with the 40 out of 70 right now. Cardano is at 104. I like it anywhere from $1.02 from below. So 102 all the way to 92 from here. Solana is at the 95. Remember, I bought at 90.40, right, for Solana, 20 Solana. So I do hope that I can buy more in the near future with the 29 out of 70. So still logical, right? But it's not like a sizable dip that I would be like, oh, this intrigues me to be buying right now. I already bought 20. I plan on buying more. Again, I plan on having possibly 500 to 1,000 Solana in the future. But it's obviously going to take me some time, right? I'm in a hurry to invest. Like, what's the rush, right? If you think logically. And right now, I like anywhere from current level really all the way to 80.90 from here. Solana, XRP is down about 0.31. I like anywhere from current level to 57 cents. Polkadot's down about 0.32. I like anywhere from 17.92 all the way to 15.87. 33 out of 70. I do like it currently at the moment still. ALGORAND's down about 3%. Anywhere from the 90 all the way to basically 80 cents from here. Shiba Inu is low 2000s again, right? Low 2000s, which is the first level, right? Which we are exactly at right now. Next level will be at the 14 and then the 900, right? I prefer anywhere from current level all the way to 1400 to the 900 from here. MACTAG is now about 4.31%. 162 at the moment, 143 to 120 is still logical to incur risk. AVAX down about 3.26%, 59 to 50 from here, with the 40 out of 70 right now, so at the upper echelon of oversold, but still logical. But I would prefer anywhere from 60 to 50 again, right? Luna, 49 right now. We are reviving back up a little bit. Remember, the 62, 52 to 45 are the frames that I will be incurring risk at, with a 31 out of 70 right now. And respect to risk management level, these are the levels that I identify for the respective coins. I feel relatively comfortable, incurring some risk at the respective coins that we just talked about so far. I think we are just, I think the bulk of it are in the steal level or the lower echelon of the attractive level. So feel free, to let me know if you have any questions. Again, hope you guys have a great Sunday. And yeah, it's definitely, I don't really see like a huge crash coming, to be honest with you, because the technical doesn't really speak that. Or indicates that. We are already relatively depleted across the spectrum. And if we're going to see a crash, I think it's going to take some time for us to incur that additional crash happening. We need to, further stretch out or elongate the current time frame, right? Maybe a couple weeks or months out for us to solidify and normalize the RSI and the MACD front for us to incentivize another dump. I just don't see how we can dump this dramatically in such a short amount of time, unless there's some sort of a major rotation going on, right? So I appreciate you. Let me know how it goes and take care. Bye.